Good evening, and thank you for being here for our meeting this evening for the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. And at this time, I would like to call to order the special meeting for Thursday, December the 21st, 2023, and it's approximately 5:04 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you would please do a roll call.
Certainly. Please state your names for the record. Members from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Thank you. Please also note Member Echevarria in the audience. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
Dawn Rao.
Thank you. Members from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn.
Thank you. And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Theodore Sanchez. Fred Charette.
Thank you. We have a full quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask our attorney to read us into closed session, please.
So we'll convene to closed session for 2 items. The first item is conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation, 1 case. And the second item is conference with real property negotiator pursuant to Government Code 54956.8. And the negotiating parties are Mike Burrows for SBIAA and Dan Odding for Fleet Services, Inc. And those are the only 2 items for closed session.
Thank you. We'll now recess into closed session and reconvene shortly thereafter. Thank you. We'll come back and reconvene our meeting, and I would ask our legal counsel to read us out of closed session, please.
Mr. Mayor, there's no reportable action taken in closed session as to either item.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to item. We're going to call to order the open session, and I would like to ask Supervisor Rock to do the pledge, please.
Please stand and join me in salute to our flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Supervisor. Any items to be added or deleted from today's agenda?
No items, sir.
Thank you. Item F, conflict of interest disclosures from commissioners.
Number 13 and 14 for me, please.
Number 13 and 14 for the supervisor. Anybody else? Hearing none others, move on to item G, informational items. Mr. Burrows, if you would, please.
Okay, so we're going to have Ms. Casara start us off here tonight. We've got a bit of a treat for you with our recent airline activity out there. She wanted to give you an update on one of the most current campaigns SPD has. So Amber, if you would.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Commissioners. In June of 2023, Travel and Leisure magazine reported on a new government report by the U.S. Department of Transportation that identified San Bernardino International Airport as the most affordable airport in the nation. To share this great news, we launched an advertising campaign featuring an airplane piggy bank with the concept of less pricey, more nicey. The airplane piggy bank, whom we call Piggy, reflects the key value propositions San Bernardino International Airport offers to Inland Empire travelers, such as affordable airfare, low-cost parking, low-cost upfront parking, close to home location, and quick connections to the world. The campaign, which includes a landing page, radio advertising, digital advertising, billboards, and print and video, follows the adventures of Piggy as he affordably travels from San Bernardino International Airport. The imagery is very scalable, allowing us to place our piggy bank in many different environments that are easily accessible from San Bernardino International Airport. And finally, I'd like to show you a video we produced highlighting the adventures of Piggy, who shows us how much more fun we can have with our own piggy banks, how much more we can afford when we choose to fly from San Bernardino International Airport. Thank you very much.
So that'll be, it's actually live on the Fly SBD website, and we'll see that in some socials here if you haven't already. So thank you, Amber. Hand it over to Mr. Gibbs on all things airline. Mark?
Yeah, and we're always here to give Amber more stuff to advertise, and that includes Breeze Airways on November 28th, announced their latest route from San Bernardino International. They announced Thursday and Sunday flights to Phoenix. It's Phoenix Sky Harbor. It's been there for a while, one of the nation's largest airports. And they'll be doing it each Sunday and each Thursday, and it includes a breeze through continuing on to Hartford, Connecticut. So we're looking forward to that service. We're looking forward to Piggy going on some new adventures. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs.
And then on to Mr. Barra, who, if you look at your consent calendar, has some really good news on the fuel farm. Jeff?
Yes, thank you. You can see on our pictures here, we finished up our floating roof project for the fuel farm. And there's our wonderful assistant FBO manager and our FBO manager, Wendy and Manette. And that's the picture of it actually complete right before we got them out of there and filled it back up with fuel. And it's all working really well, and we're happy we got it done, and now we're in compliance with everything as we need to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Mr. Cousineau, to report on the audit.
Thank you. Short and sweet. We've completed interim and final field work. The week ended November 17th. We expect to get a draft audit report in January. We've run into some delays caused with GASB 96, and basically that was actually identifying or discovering and disclosing efforts on our subscription software. And with that, that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Kuzno.
And that concludes our reports.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item H, we have commission consent items. Those are items 3 through 10. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar with conflict on 13 and 14 from Supervisor Rao.
So moved with the noted abstentions.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Rao and a second by Member Lilburn. Members, please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette. Thank you. Items 3 through 10 pass unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item I, commission action items. Commission action items, and we go first to item 11. Consider and adopt the proposed budget adjustments for fiscal year 23-24. Mr. Cousino, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This action is to consider adopt a budget adjustment of expenses in excess of revenues in the amount of $110,000. It is to provide the budget authority for the domestic parking lot improvement project that was approved by the Commission on October 25th, 2023, and through a communication and coordination difficulty, we missed putting it on that particular agenda, and this cleans it up. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, I have a motion by Councilmember Sanchez and a second by Councilmember Rigsby. Madam Clerk?
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Sanchez and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 12, and this is to approve a lease amendment number 1 with Thunder International Group Incorporated for building number 56. And presented on this is Mr. Darrell Hale.
Good evening.
Hale, please.
Submitting for board approval is amendment number 1 to our existing lease with Thunder International, building 56. They're currently leasing 35,508 square feet. They now already want to expand their facility to, it'd be a total of 64,747,000 square feet. Current annual rent we get is $553,920. This expansion would increase the lease revenue annually to $834,626. Thunder, like our initial lease agreement, Thunder would provide its own tenant improvements, with SBIAA allowing them up to 120 days of early occupancy to complete. as conditioned with the original lease agreement, Blended would maintain their interior portion of the premises and pay for its own expenses. Target date for the commencement of this First Amendment is January 1st, 2024. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Questions or comments from commissioners? If not, Chair will entertain a motion to approve lease amendment number 1 with Thunder International.
Move to approve.
Sanchez moves, second by Charette. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. We have a motion by Member Sanchez and a second by Member Charette. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao.
Yes.
Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. Item passes unanimously.
Moving on to item number 13. This is to approve award of professional services agreement with ACOM Technical Services, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $408,126 for the AOA Access Road project. Mr. Gibbs.
Thank you, Mayor. This project would be for the construction management services to administer this project. And I think it's important to note that the project is 90% funded by the FAA through the Airport Improvement Program. So it's a constituent component of the construction project that Mr. Barrow will be talking about momentarily. And these services were solicited in accordance with the FAA's requirements for procurement of professional services. And AECOM was the qualified firm that was selected. An independent fee estimate was provided in accordance with the FAA's requirements and found to be appropriate and in line with the requirements of the project. And we are seeking your approval to award this contract to AECOM Technical Services in the amount of $408,126.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. And on item 13, Supervisor Rowe has advises of conflict of interest. Thank you, Supervisor.
I'll move to approve the item.
Okay,
Second.
I have a motion by Lilburn and a second by Rigsby. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Member Rao abstains. Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 14. This is to approve the award of a construction contract with Maddox Corporation in the amount of $1,341,626 for the AOA Vehicle Access Road project, subject to final grant award by U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration. Mr. Barrow, please.
Thank you, Commissioners. The AOA Access Road project involves reconstruction of the existing gravel road on the airfield. Construction activities include excavation, grading, asphalt paving, some drainage work, some fence work, seeding, pavement markings, and other upgrades as needed. This project is located west of Taxiway C and north of Taxiway D. The project administrated through the FAA, as Mr. Gibbs said, and the Airport Improvements Program at a 90% reimbursement rate. Approve of the award of the construction contract with Maddox in the amount not to exceed $1,341,626 and subject to final grant award from the FAA, and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents. Staff recommends the Commission approve the above recommended action.
Thank you, Mr. Barrow. I have a motion by Councilmember Charette. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Rigsby.
Thank you very much. We have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro.
Yes.
Member Rigsby.
Yes.
With an abstention from Member Rao. Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Member Sanchez.
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you. That item passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to review status of the action plan for the airport. Mr. Burrows.
So happy December. We've obviously had a busy year, and if doubling up on our agenda activities after last month, we've been a lot of places. So Mr. Gibbs and I, if you would have seen, were able to make the trip over to the World Routes Conference all the way in Istanbul. That's actually a global conference of airports and airlines, and we're fortunate to be there when we were before conflict got worse. And our colleagues at Ontario and many other airports were present. Very, very well-run event, despite everything that's happening in the world today. Just came back recently from the California Airports Council. That's an association of all the commercial airports in the state of California. We were one of many founding members of that, and pleased to have voted in my colleague, Atif Al-Khaldi from Ontario, who will be our new vice president for next year. So very excited about that. And then our talented team at Luxair were also able to make the National Business Aviation Association event in Las Vegas. Our fuel provider, Titan, had a nice large booth where we were very front and center. And I just got to say, it's nice to be able to go to some of these types of forums in our industry. And people know Luxair, people now know SBD, and it's a breath of fresh air to not be the one not asked to the dance like we used to be years ago. So again, that's thanks to you and the investments you continue to make in this airport. So appreciate your leadership on that. As Mr. Kuzno did, mention, we hopefully will have your audit in front of you after the first of the year. And then we'll also be looking at any relevant updates on business items for the next 6-month look ahead. So fresh action plan coming in January. And most importantly, have happy holidays. And look forward to seeing you in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Any items added or deferred?
No items.
Thank you. Open session public comment, Madam Clerk.
There are no public comments.
Thank you very much. Commission member comments.
I have one.
Yes, Mr. Surratt.
Merry Christmas to all.
Same
To all, a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Surratt. There being no other business to attend to, this meeting is now adjourned. Our next meeting will be January the 24th. Thank you.